And that's it for another BlizzCon, and apart from a couple of hiccups, it's actually been a pretty good one. We've had a new Diablo, the new World of Warcraft expansion was announced, a new Overwatch made its way onto the stage, which is aka another $60. We've had Warcraft 3 Reforged news, Hearthstone news, unfortunately nothing about StarCraft, but hey, what can we ask for? And there was this other thing, oh yeah, Heroes of the Storm, something was mentioned about that. BlizzCon started with the big news, Diablo. Now, I'm not a massive Diablo fan. I've only played Diablo 3, but I've heard number 2 was better. I found 3 was better, playing with friends rather than by yourself, but overall it was and still is a fun game. However, 4, just wow, it looks amazing. This was the news that BlizzCon needed to start repairing the damage it's caused itself over the last couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong, it hasn't fully repaired the damage, however, people have been asking for this game for years, and after last year's disappointment of Diablo Immortal, this might have just piqued all Diablo players' interest once again. We were given a long cinematic which caught my interest straight away. I understand now why there were a separate screening for young children, as even as someone who's not afraid of a little bit of blood, could see that Blizzard had gone back to the old school Diablo of the horror style game, giving the Diablo franchise the breath of fresh air it's needed for a while. People who attended the con had the opportunity to play 3 of the classes available in the new game, the standard Barbarian and Sorceress, the third bringing back the class of the Druid. The Master of Shapeshifting makes his triumphant return to Sanctuary, seamlessly changing forms from human to werebear to werewolf. His command over earth and storm magic is second to none. The new game is now open world, and the updated graphics are bringing this game into the current era of gaming. When it comes to the campaign, you'll be able to play through the entire story at your own pace, or alongside friends, with progress syncing up to the party leader, so there's no question about what's been done or what's next on the checklist. If you'd like a more in-depth video on Diablo, please let me know, as there is lots and lots to go through. Next came Overwatch. Again, another quite long cinematic about friendship and uniting and, well, all the stuff Blizzard are trying to do at the moment but seem to be failing at. Now, the problem I have with Overwatch is, just like Heroes of the Storm, it's one of those games which I personally only play when either WoW's on maintenance or if I'm really bored. And even then I only play for about an hour or 2 at most. Many people predicted correctly that Overwatch's sequel was going to be announced. Did I say sequel? Well, I meant to say DLC, because to me that's what it is. The new game brings with it a PvE system which we've been told is highly repeatable, which you can take 2 ways. It's either going to be different each time or it's going to be exactly the same each time. Not sure on the facts on that. We have new locations, that's good. I have to admit we did get 2 new heroes and some updated models for the current ones. So can you see how it's looking more like a DLC rather than a brand new game? The one upside is you'll be able to bring all of the stuff that you've either earned or brought in the first Overwatch. The new PvE system may bring another esport to BlizzCon, which would be cool. But for someone who doesn't play Overwatch much, well, let's just say it hasn't made me want to play it even more. Before we get into WoW, I do want to talk about Heroes of the Storm. We got Deathwing. Now, the new World of Warcraft expansion was the thing I was obviously most eager to see. So, with many different leaks being thrown out, it was hard to actually know if any of them were actually going to be true. Now, I will have to admit, the picture of the Lich King that was leaked a couple of days before the con, I thought was fake. But you know what? I was wrong. You may have watched some of my other videos reacting to the cinematic, and if you haven't, I'll link them in the description. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually fed up with seeing Sylvanas now, and I don't agree with how it went down, but first off, how did she kill all of those Scourge soldiers before Bolvar got down the steps of the Burning Throne? Did he use a stair lift or something? However, apart from my how did that happen thoughts, the visuals lived up to the expectations from all other videos that we'd been given over the last expansion. Now, I play Horde, but watching the searing pain that Sylvanas caused Bolvar when she ripped the Helm of Domination off his head made me even stop for a second and think, wow, this bitch is going just a little bit too far. Just when we thought she was going to put the helm on herself, she broke it in half. Now, I wasn't actually expecting that. The part which confuses me, and remember, we haven't reached the end of the current expansion yet, but throughout Battle for Azeroth, haven't we been trying to repair the world from a massive stab from Sargeras' sword, right? And now she's just torn a hole in the roof of the planet to another realm or something? Sometimes I love this writing, and sometimes I hate it. However, we do know now that we will be travelling to the Shadowlands, the land in which characters' souls go after they die. We'll be meeting up with new covenants to partner with, and our current goal looks like we're there to stop the jailer and find out how Sylvanas got all her power. Oh, please God, let us kill her. I'll be making a video covering all the stuff we found out at the deep dive panel, but there will be a level squish to 50. Then playing through Shadowlands will take you to 60, and a new starting zone which seems interesting. But as well goes, I think it did really well at BlizzCon this year. If you don't count the cringy Voices of Azeroth panel where the host couldn't stop touching Saurfang, that was a little bit weird. Now on to something a little bit more serious. And I'm reading this from a script because I wanted to make sure that I don't mix up my words, because this is really serious with everything that's going on at Blizzard. But I haven't mentioned the whole Hong Kong Blizzard stuff on this channel apart from a couple of hints. And that's not because I don't care about it, because I really do. The problem is I feel like too many channels are using this very serious issue to gain lots of views, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. The thing is, I think people have to take a step back and think about who is and who isn't to blame for all the stuff happening. At the Q&A for Warcraft, some kid came up to the camera shouting, "Free Hong Kong, revolution of our times," and whatever, which is fine, he has the right to do that. But was it the right time? Did the WoW devs have anything to do with that problem? Not that I can think of. If he'd done it at the Hearthstone stuff, or in front of J. Allen Brack, I could kind of understand. I thought it was unfair to put the WoW devs in that position, and I think people need to think about what they're doing before just going and doing it. Just like Blizzard did with the ban, take a leaf out of their book. But hats off to the hosts for getting on with the show, and I don't know who this legendary hero is, but I want to find him, and I want to tell him he is awesome for just getting on with this question and pushing that kid aside. And that's it all for BlizzCon. And that's all. What did you think of BlizzCon this year? Let me know in the comments below. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And thank you very much for watching. And I will see you in another video.